Welcome to another edition of our StaySmart newsletter and podcast, brought to you by Viciniti Corporate Housing, where we try to keep you updated on what we see happening in the industry. I'm actually in the Chicago area this week, actually specifically downtown St. Charles, on somewhat of a warm week here in Chicago. So, beautiful day to be out and about, but I'm going to go jump into the articles that we have this week. The first one was actually about the passing of Howard Ruby a couple weeks ago. Howard Ruby founded Oakwood, kind of the father of corporate housing, kind of creator of corporate housing. The term that we use now, corporate housing, really becomes from the brand that he created back in the 70s. Oakwood Worldwide was really recognized as the kind of inventor of the corporate housing brand, and Howard was a big power in that. I knew a lot of people that looked at him as a mentor and just a big piece in their career. I met Howard once when I was at a conference when we were part of a franchise with Oakwood. Seemed to be like a very knowledgeable man, and it had a big impact on a lot of people in the industry. So Howard left behind 4 children. My best wishes with them and the rest of the family. The next article we have is about Real ID. It finally took effect on May 7th. This is something we've talked about previously on this podcast. It's the new enhanced security kind of driver's license that has the little star on it. 81% of U.S. Adults have this now, so this finally took effect on May 7th. It seems like it went relatively smooth. I actually flew on that day, and I didn't realize that was the day it was taking effect until I saw the cameras there at the Kansas City airport. And it went pretty smoothly. I didn't see any issues. And then this article, they also flew that day. They didn't really notice any issues. So it doesn't sound like there's been any issues so far. And it does sound like you can still get by without the Real ID. You may just have to go through some additional security clearance. So if you don't have your new updated Real ID, go ahead and get that now, the little star on your driver's license. That'll help speed up the process. And then the next article that we have is about New York City. This is Local Law 18. This is an Airbnb article, so it might have a little bit of a tint from the Airbnb perspective. But we've talked about this before, kind of the impact on New York City, Manhattan in particular. Record rents are still happening. This is Local Law 18, taken effect about 20 months ago. And this article talks about the median rents being above $4,000, but I've also seen average rents listed at over $5,000. So apartment rents have still gone up over the last almost 2 years, where the original idea behind Local Law 18 was that it was short-term rentals were taking away stock from the apartment industry, and really haven't seen the impact since then. Obviously, there is a shortage of housing in Manhattan, like there is in lots of places across the U.S. What's interesting about this article is really the hotel rates have really gone up. They're up over $320 a night. I was just in New York City last month, and I can attest to it. Hotel rates are super high in Manhattan in particular. So it has really, as we see, this article talks about the number of listings have drastically gone down in New York City, and hotel rates have gone up. So kind of a mixed result so far with Local Law 18, kind of depending on your perspective on that. And then we have a couple articles about business travel in the first quarter. Expedia had released their Q1 results, and obviously travel overall in the U.S. was down. In particular, it talks about international travel into the U.S. In particular, Canadian travel into the U.S. is way down. Obviously, government travel is down with a reduction in workforce on the government side. I have seen some news in April showing that maybe a little uptick, and obviously Trump rolling back the tariffs or a 90-day pause. We'll see maybe some more business certainty moving forward. Maybe Q2 will look a little bit better, but right now Q1, the articles talk a lot about just uncertainty in the industry, in business in general. So that had an effect on travel, and I think it'll be interesting to watch what Q2 looks like. But right now Q1 definitely was a slowdown, a cooling in travel as we try to get back to COVID levels and kind of go past that. So really interesting information about business travel, corporate housing, the founder of corporate housing, the Real ID that we've talked about. Those are the things that we talk about that we think is relative to our clients, to our customers. And if there's something you'd like to hear us talk about, please let us know. But otherwise, that's what I see transitioning this week. Take care, everyone.